ASMR. What's up, weirdos? I'm Felicia, and I like scurra movies, and it's late night, doing a little movie review tonight. But before we do that, I have to show you guys something. So, in my last video, well, maybe it wasn't my last video, in my movie marathon, I watched Death Becomes Her, and in that video I was like, oh, I gotta find this on VHS! I've got to. And lo and behold, Amazon now has a section on all their movies. Like if you like look up a movie on Amazon, click, 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 click. And there is a section, it's like streaming, DVD, VHS now. And obviously it doesn't always have it. But for this one they did, and I ordered it for like, I don't know, it's like $5 or $10, something like that. And it came and it's perfectly in its package. And I'm gonna watch it tonight. I'm so excited. Is anyone else buying things on Amazon or anywhere on the internet just because they're really bored? I know that's not good, but I'm doing it. Not only did I buy this, but I also bought these pants I'm wearing right now. I'm just gonna, these are, look at these Buffy freaking sweatpants. Hold on. Okay, I'll show you at the end of the video. But these sweatpants are so sick. They were like a little expensive, but totally worth it. These are like the nicest sweatpants I've ever owned. They have pockets. We'll talk about it at the end. But today, is she ever gonna say what she's talking about today? It's this movie, Bite. The movie is called Bit. Okay, so Bite. No, Felicia, I actually had to come back and film this little moment because the movie is called Bit. Not Bite, Bit. So sorry. I saw a bunch on social media in 2019, I guess when it was making its festival rounds and all that. Like I feel like I kept seeing it on Instagram everywhere, and I was like, when is this movie gonna come out so I can see it? And apparently it did. I literally only found out it was on VOD. I think it was Ben. Yeah, Ben Grimm, horror movie friend, internet friend. He had posted on his Instagram that he watched it, and I was like, what? Like, I've been waiting for that movie forever, and I didn't hear anyone, like, there was, like, no hype, no, like, a big announcement or anything, but it just, like, casually dropped on VOD, and so I watched it last night, and it was really fun. I had some, like, high expectations for this one. I feel like this movie and We Summon the Darkness, I just, like, had so much hype around because they're so just, like, aesthetically in line with everything I love. And so I will say this movie isn't perfect, but I really liked it. First of all, like the general overall aesthetic is like very me and very also just like trendy right now. Like I'm noticing so many movies that are coming out right now have this sort of like this sort of color palette right now. Like it's like Bliss, VFW, which are the Joe Begos movies. Also Daniel Isn't Real. I feel like there's another one I reviewed recently that had like a similar thing. It's like this sort of neon pinks and blues, and I do love it, but it's so interesting that we're seeing so much of that right now. But this movie is about a trans teenage girl on summer vacay to Los Angeles, where she's gonna stay with her brother for a little bit, you know, find herself and all that. And their first night out, she gets bitten by a vampire, and she basically gets confronted by this gang of like super hot, queer, lesbian, feminist vampire chicas. And they basically give her the choice whether she wants to be a part of their gang or not. And let me just go in with the things I love about this movie. Pretty much from the opening sequence, they kind of had me hooked because the opening sequence is like very kind of like fast and bloody to the point. You get like a heart rip out. You get like some really fun blood stuff pretty immediately. And I was already like, oh, and very good outfits. Excellent outfits in this film. And I was like, okay, great, loving this. And then they sort of introduced our main character. I also love that the main character is trans. I actually didn't know that for the entire movie. But I think it's cool that they're very much normalizing just having a trans character in the leading role. She's also really good. And apparently, this is cool because I was looking her up. The character's name is Laurel in the movie, and she is played by Nicole Maines. And Nicole Maines is known for being the first trans superhero in DC's Legends of Tomorrow, which I have not seen, but she plays Dreamer / Naya Now. I really don't know anything about superhero movies or shows, but that's cool. But anyway, she does a good job in this movie, and then my fave in this movie is Diana Hopper, and she plays this character Duke, which is such a good name. Good female vampire name. But she's like the leader of the pack. She makes the rules. And she really like honestly kind of steals every scene she's in. She just has this like very strong presence, stillness, intensity about her, where like if she's on screen, like she's what you're looking at, and also great outfits. Yeah, but I really liked her. And the rest of the vampire gang, they're played by Zoli Griggs, Friday Chamberlain, and where's the other one? Oh, Shar Diaz. And honestly, they all do a great job. I'm really, like, the whole female ensemble I think is pretty badass. The second thing I love is this movie really moves. It didn't feel long to me. It felt like boom, bada, bang. He has a blood, he has a joke, he has a feminist moment, and the movie's over. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I just thought overall it was like very well-paced horror film. And then last thing I really liked is the soundtrack. I feel like every time a song started, I was like, ooh, what is this song? And not necessarily in a distracting way, just in an exciting way. And now I'm really wishing I had watched the whole credit sequence so I could tell you what any of the music was. I tried to look on the IMDb, and honestly there's like not that much info on it. But I guess this is still a new movie, so I'm sure somebody smart and amazing will fill in that information for us someday. Oh, I didn't even say, this movie was written and directed by Brad Michael Elmore. He looks like he's directed a couple of other things, The Wolfman's Hammer and Boogeyman Pop. Both great titles. Don't know what they're about. But I do want to look up his Instagram real quick. Yeah, I mean, he posted about it. I'm just like, where was the hype around this film? Like, I feel like there really was so much hype in the festival season for it. And then, but around it actually coming to VOD, I feel like I didn't hear a damn thing about it. Maybe I just wasn't following the right things. I don't know. But I do want to make this video, first of all, because I was planning on reviewing it anyway, but because, like, I want some people to freaking check out this movie because I think it's really cool. And yes, okay, now let's get into some negatives. There are some things I don't love about it. Kind of the main thing is that they try, and it's tricky with vampire stuff, they try to build some mythology into these vampires, but there doesn't seem to be enough to make us feel like we're really standing on this kind of ancient thing going on. It's sort of a group of fairly young vampires that have sort of defeated their master, or at least Duke had defeated her master, and the big rules, I can't remember all the rules that this group of vampires have, but the main one is that there may be no men vampires. They cannot handle the power. And while I am interested in that, and I think that is like a cool angle to put on this movie, there were some times that it felt a little heavy-handed, nowhere near the way of like the Black Christmas remake, which by the way, I didn't hate. I know many of you did, but I thought it was alright. But it's nowhere near as heavy-handed as that. But it definitely is like a full-on feminist, like queer-friendly, cool vampire movie. And so those themes and struggles are definitely within the story. But I think overall they did a pretty good job of making it like, these are the characters that are in this movie versus like, this is a movie about this thing I'm trying to teach you. Which I hate when movies do that. I hate when it's like, here's this thing I'm trying to teach you. This doesn't necessarily feel like that, but they definitely throw some lines in there that make it a very politically aware film. Yeah, but and honestly, like the mythology thing, I don't think it would have bothered me if there wasn't basically any of it. It's sort of like in Bliss, like, not that I should compare these movies necessarily, but like in that movie, like there's basically no vampire mythology. I don't even remember them using the word vampire. And that's cool, but in this movie, it's like they tried to put mythology in and even some like flashback sequences, and it almost opened up a door we didn't need or something. It's like, I didn't need it. I'm down to just like chill with these girls, but I don't know. Oh, and I also just liked some of the vampire magical moments. Just the little moments where we get to see like the vampire abilities. I thought that was cool. I enjoyed those. Some of them made me wish I was a vampire. And then I guess one other thing with the plot is they would try to like give some more mythology, I guess, but background, particularly on the character of Laurel, that would sort of come in and out, and it felt like sort of unfinished business, or like those things never got resolved. Like she finds out something tragic happens like with her friend back home, and we never really hear about it again. Like there's a couple of things like that it just seem a little bit passive and not like completed plot lines, but it didn't bother me horribly. And I think that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I will link Bit on Amazon down below if you guys want to check it out. It's a cool movie. Just came out. New movies, they're still happening. So I will see you in my next video, and have a nice scream. Bye. Also, these are my pants. How freaking sick are these? I love them. Sorry, my room's messy. Okay, bye.